What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to 10 graphs that prove the UK is better than the United States. What? Better? Better than America? No. Impossible. Nobody is better than America. Okay, all right. Well, joking aside, there are actually a lot of Americans who really do think that the United States is just the greatest country in the world and that we do everything the best. And I think that there's actually a lot of stuff that we could do a lot better. And honestly, a lot of stuff that we could learn from other countries, like the UK. So today, I want to take a look at these graphs that show 10 different things that the UK does better than the United States. So let's take a look at some of these, starting with number one, life expectancy. Oh my God. So, according to this graph, in the UK, this is kind of an important one. You guys live longer than Americans by almost 2 years. That's 2 years of being alive. That's pretty important. So, wow. What is this like caused by, you know? I mean, I shouldn't be that shocked. Americans, we're kind of known for being pretty unhealthy, overweight. We don't walk very much. Our food is terrible for us. So maybe I should be happy it's only 2 years that British people have on Americans. But yeah, obviously this is so important and really something that Americans don't think about or worry about enough. Like how other countries, like in the UK, you guys literally just live longer, healthier lives. That's pretty important. Like, it's kind of shocking that we don't talk about this more. But I'm sure there's a lot of specific factors that go into that and what the UK does differently than America. But okay. So you guys live longer. That's pretty good. Infant mortality. Oh, God. This is like child deaths? Like babies dying at birth? Infant mortality? Deaths per 1,000 live births. Oh my God. So in the UK, you guys have 3.9 deaths out of 1,000 births. This is a very, very sad, sort of depressing statistic. Like that there's any death at all, in the modern day, but, it's inevitable. But in the UK, you guys have about half as many infant deaths at birth. What's that about? What are we doing here in the United States? I thought, you know, our healthcare insurance system of paying for healthcare is ridiculous and stupid, but our actual care, like the doctors and the technology, and that's all pretty good. Like, so I'm kind of shocked that America is doing so poorly compared to the UK in infant deaths at birth. Is this because, like, the mothers aren't receiving the care that they need? Maybe it's related to the cost of healthcare. Like, American mothers are less likely to receive the care they need because of payment. I guarantee it's related to something like that because the actual healthcare service in America is good as long as you can pay for it. That is. This is pretty depressing. Uh, Maternal mortality? What? So per 100,000, this is mothers dying at birth. I didn't know this was. I didn't know that this was such a big problem here. I mean, obviously, because the UK and the United States are pretty comparable in terms of like healthcare, the care. The only difference, the big difference I know of is in the UK, you guys can just get the healthcare that you need whenever you want. Whereas here in the United States, it's very much dependent upon what healthcare insurance you have, what coverage you have, what hospitals will take you in, how much money, how much you can afford to pay off if insurance doesn't cover it. All these factors, and that, if I'm interpreting these graphs correctly, and I think I am, um, our healthcare insurance payment system in America is actually killing people. Like it's costing mothers lives, and babies being born are dying. And I think it's connected to that because there's no reason, like, because the doctors and nurses and medicine here are good. It's just that the access to that is bad. And this is pretty like startling. Like this is talk about something that needs to be talked about more in the United States. We are not living as long. More of our mothers die during birth. More of our children die during birth compared to the UK. Gee, and Americans don't even bother to like stop and think about, okay, what is the UK doing that's different, that could be better? Because obviously this is horrible. Oh my God. Um, Homicides, murder. Oh, okay. And yes, the United States, we have a much bigger population, but this is not like totals. This is per capita. This is per 100,000 people. It's not about the US is bigger than the UK. That doesn't matter. This is like the rate of deaths in America is higher, and murder is higher in America. Okay, talk about. I'm pretty shocked by the first few graphs. This, I'm gonna be honest, this one doesn't surprise me that much. Murder is more common in the United States. Oh my God, it's almost 7 times more. The rate, like the likelihood of getting murdered in America is 7 times greater on average than the UK. And we don't think we have anything we could possibly learn. Nothing at all we could do better. No, no. This is horrific. This is embarrassing, really. Good for you guys in the UK. Only one murder per 100,000 people. In America, it's about 7, which means 7 times greater. And this has to be because of the ability to get guns in the United States. That's the biggest. What else would it be? There's a learn more here. What does this say? CDC reports homicide rate of 6.8. Yeah, it doesn't really say why. That's a whole other discussion. Why is murder so much more prevalent in America? The thing that would jump out to me is the access to guns. You have to think that's what it is, right? Incarceration rate. Oh wow, this is the rate that people are sent to prison per 100,000 people. For 100,000 people in the UK, 142 go to prison. And in America, 541. That's like 3-4 times more. Oh my God. Why are we sending so much more people to jail in America? Probably because our rehabilitation programs aren't that good. Are our laws more strict? It's either our laws are more strict or we just have more criminals. I think it's pretty as simple as that. It's one or the other, or maybe a combination of both. I don't know what the laws are in the UK, or if you guys are less likely to sentence someone to prison for certain crimes, but Yeah, this is kind of something that's talked about in America sometimes is like how many how full our prisons are and how many Americans are in prison and how bad our rehabilitation efforts are. Um, I don't even know where you would begin to address something like this. This is just the symptom of something profoundly wrong, that we imprison so many Americans compared to the UK. God. Okay. Geez, this is a bit depressing, these graphs, but you can't just pretend that depressing stuff doesn't exist. And it's good to be aware of this, to be honest. CO2 emissions per capita. So I don't know what this exactly is a measurement of. Tons of crap, tons of CO2 emission, we'll say. But basically, this is saying that in the UK, you guys are much more environmentally friendly. This is something that America claims to be really worried about, and we're trying to change our ways and have electric cars and not use aerosol cans, but the UK seems to be doing a much, much, much better job at controlling CO2 emission. Like 3 times better, at least 4 times better. Is there any more info? Yeah, we're over 3 times more emissions than the UK. This is per capita. Again, doesn't even, it's not about, oh, America's bigger population. No, no, no. This is like an average. This is per capita. Huh. This is kind of embarrassing because we kind of, in America, this is like something people actually talk about. And yet, we're terrible at it. What the heck? Road deaths, traffic deaths per 100,000 people. Oh my God. What is up with the? A lot of these graphs, unfortunately, are very important because they have to do with death. Americans just die a lot more for many different reasons. We kill each other on the road because of driving, because of not having access to healthcare. Our life expectancy is just lower than British people. This is pretty eye opening stuff. Road traffic deaths in the UK, 2.6 people die in a traffic accident per 100,000. In America, it's 12, almost 13. This is like 5 times greater again than the UK. What's up with that? Are we just like really, really bad at driving? Why are our roads so much deadlier? Are our traffic laws like worse? Yeah, you just have to sit back and kind of wonder what's going on with some of this stuff. What are we doing in America that's so much worse? That we're dying from traffic accidents at a rate 6 times greater than the UK. Or maybe the UK is doing something really smart that we're not doing. I don't know. Health spending per person? Health spending, that's an interesting stat. So you want your health spending to be low, ideally, because this is the spending on healthcare directly out of your own pocket. So health spending per person, is this per year? Is this per year? Per capita? It doesn't really say. I think it's per year because it says this data was from 2022. Americans spend 12,000 per year. Oh, I think that's including paying for our healthcare insurance every month, which is something that Americans have to do. You have to pay for your health insurance plan. It's a monthly payment every month. And on top of that, when you go in to the hospital or the doctor, there's extra charges, even though you have your healthcare insurance. It only covers so much percentage of your costs. Sometimes it doesn't cover certain things. There's copays and deductibles, the amount of money you have to pay before your insurance starts helping. I believe it. Americans pay 12,000 per year on healthcare. That That is a huge amount of money. Like for the vast majority of people, $12,000 a year is a huge amount of money. And in the UK, it's actually not zero. It's 5,000, which is less than half of Americans. But well, what do you guys have to spend 5,000 a year on health spending? What is that about? Is that like pharmacy drugs, or do you have to pay something when you go to the doctor? Or because I thought it was all paid for by, oh, maybe this is like taxes. Because I thought it was all taxpayer funded in the UK. Maybe this is like the average amount that someone in the UK has to pay taxes towards healthcare. Maybe. I'm trying to think why would people in the UK have to have health spending? I thought it was all free or taxpayer funded, right? Statutory paid vacation days. Talk about something we don't talk about in America. We don't talk about this. This is the minimum amount of vacation that you legally are required to get in America versus the UK. In the UK, you guys legally are given 28 days of vacation minimum a year from your job, right? The government mandates this, I believe. In America, there's no government oversight on this kind of stuff. Corporations have very, very little regulation in America, which can be good for like free market stuff, but it's also very, very bad for employees and benefits and people. So in America, it's true. You're not guaranteed any days off. Now, normally in America, you are given all of the national holidays off of work. So you get like 10, 15 days off work from holidays. And you are typically in America, but not required. But usually, if you have a decent job, you're given like two weeks of vacation a year and some days that you're allowed to be sick. But it's not guaranteed. And that's pretty scary and really not something that's talked about in America. Paid maternity leave, same exact thing. Exactly. In the UK, you guys are given 39 weeks. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 9 months? 10 months? Oh my God. I mean, most Americans don't even know this is a thing in the rest of the world. That in a lot of countries like the UK, you guys have 9, 10 months of maternity leave. I can't even wrap my head around it. Because in America, you are lucky to get 2 or 3. You have a baby, and the mother gets 3 months off. Probably like not paid or half pay. Or you have to take use your vacation time to take off, or depending on where you work. Which is crazy because anyone who's had a baby knows when a baby is 3 months old, you're not ready. Like they require full-time attention. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't, but in America, you gotta send your 3-month-old off to daycare for a stranger to take care of them or something, or you have to quit work or something. Like, it's pretty messed up, and something we don't even complain about enough in America, because like a lot of things here, Americans have kind of we've kind of just accepted things here. All right, that's just the way it is. That's just how it is. What do you mean? That's just the way things are. It's like, no. That's why I think it's so eye-opening to see this comparison of the UK versus the United States, because it shows me it's not at all how things have to be. There's lots of things the UK does that is different and better, and Americans really need to realize that. So I think a lot more Americans need to look at stuff like this. So I'm real glad I did, even though It's kind of depressing. But good. But very good to be aware and to learn. So this was pretty eye-opening to me. I enjoyed it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these graphs that show essentially ways that the UK is better than the United States. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and learning things about the UK, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.